Hey folks, so how do you think we'll get on in an evening just before sunset with a £100 Micro Four Thirds camera? Let's find out. So as you can see folks, it's sunset and we've got a tiny little G5. I haven't had time to get all my stuff with me. It's kind of an impromptu little video of this about this little camera I've got, so you'll have to bear with me because I'm kind of hand holding the action cam, so there's going to be a bit of wonky footage as I zoom in, so you're not going to get the same point of view that you normally get. You're going to be wobbling the camera all over the place. If there was a reason for a prime lens, that was it. So this is a little Micro Four Thirds camera. We're running it in aperture priority because it's a bit weird how it actually works. It is a strange one, this camera. Its exposure stimulation is very different on old Lumix cameras. Essentially you've got to press a button to use it. So we're just going to get a shot of the beach huts here. Probably seen these before. You can hear the clicker going as well. Clunky shutter. Oh, there's a huge boat in port as well. That's handy. We'll walk. Let's see that. It's massive. You'll see that when we come up the top. See, it's always worth coming down. So we are going to see it at low light. We've got the kit lens on, the 15-45. Hang on, I'm going to switch to the. Well, I'll switch to the front camera in a minute. But I didn't expect to see a huge boat like that there. But we can walk along there before the tide comes in. I kind of expected to see a few more people down here, but maybe not. A little bit breezy, but as you can see we've got quite a view. It's not going to quite be street photography as such. It's going to be more desolate beach photography. So again, we'll test the zoom out. We've got some lovely colours going on, as you can see here. We'll get the cranes and the windmill and the sea. We're shooting at the maximum zoom. Which is 45mm. Which means we can get the birds as well. It's about the only life I've got down here. It's the bird. Now, being a Micro Four Thirds, crop factor's times 2. We're back. That's a bit better. I couldn't get the display to come back on, but we'll walk along to that ship and see what's going along there. It's a very big ship. I'm just due to use the Osmo Action today. I have brought my another camera with me, but we might end up just using this little G5. So this is my dad's old camera actually. I'm probably going to sell it for him, but before we do that, I thought we'd use it. So I think what we'll have to do, because I'm going to wobble the camera all over, is I'm going to have to choose the focal length I'm going to take the shots at before I take them. So I'm not going to use zoom, otherwise I'm going to be shaking the camera all over the place. So this is going to be very, very different to what we normally do. But the whole idea behind this is to show you that if you want to start doing street photography and you want to go beyond your mobile phone, and you want a camera that has interchangeable lenses, you can do it, and you can do it for not a lot of money, for around £100 I think. So the proof in the pudding will be taking some shots of this and having a look at them. As we go through the video, I'll post some of the shots up to 16 megapixel camera, so let's see how it works. So I've got a nice little composition here, as you can see. It's quite good because they're actually similar when they're zoomed out. This is at 14mm we're going to do. And you get some beautiful light at this time of day. So we're going to sort of pre-focus on this building here. And wait for the cyclist to be in shot. that was convenient. You see, cyclists always turn up where you least expect them, and today we got one straight away. So that was a good shot. I'm going to get another shot of this centre building, but a little bit more straightforward. I'll do get a little bit closer to it from this angle. So again, we're in what you would probably term blue hour now. I'm going to move out to here. This is quite tricky holding both of these. So I'm going to lock focus, probably the camera there. Almost a silhouette on that. Now being Micro Four Thirds, this is the downside of Micro Four Thirds, is that it's very, very difficult to actually zoom right out unless you have a very, very wide lens. Anyway, let's walk along a bit and I'll catch you up in a moment. We're heading for that ship. We have another cyclist. So I'm going to pre-focus on here. The one thing, well, let's switch this around to the other view. That's awkward. Every time I have to switch views, I have to top recording. So what I did there, because this camera has quite a basic autofocus system, these starting cameras are quite good for getting you started in photography, because they have quite basic controls. You pre-focus on a spot, wait for the object or the subject, whatever you want to call them, to go through it, and then take the shot. So, you know, they've got the typical spot, center weight, I guess, point autofocus. Even though it's a mirrorless camera, it's closer to a DSLR in operation because, you know, because of the way that the exposure simulation works, you're probably going to be better off using it similar to a DSLR by using an exposure meter. So an exposure meter just shows, it's a little mark that shows whether you're underexposed by a certain number of stops or overexposed by a certain number of stops. And that's probably the best way to use this camera. Anyway, we're getting closer to the ship. I'll catch you on over there. So I zoomed in on the bandstand, so it's probably worth trying to get a shot there. There's people in the bandstand. Which we got. So let us head on down to the beach. And hopefully we can get along before the tide comes in, or it's a longer walk back. So I think you can get some quite interesting shots here, especially as I say in the blue hour. I think they're quite interesting with the houses in the background, with the lamppost in the middle. We'll get those there. You might be able to just make them out. Be interested to see what colours we can bring back in post on this. What I'll do is wait for this person to come walking past. There's been some vehicles down here, hasn't there? The tracks. We'll wait for this person to come back and we'll get a shot of them walking by with the lighthouse in the background. And we'll walk along to where the ship is. I'm going to get a portrait shot. So again, now the autofocus is a bit more advanced than I thought on this. We do actually have tracking and zone. So get a picture of the lighthouse. And I like picture of the lighthouse by itself, I think. You can probably see my finger there. So I'm running at F5.6. Now what you've got to remember on a Micro Four Thirds camera, crop factors ×2, which means that F5.6 kind of acts like about F11, if I remember rightly. So essentially, with a Micro Four Thirds camera, you're going to get a much deeper depth of field because of the way the crop factor works. So they can be quite handy in that respect from the point of view of street photography, because that's why mobile phones are a good starting point for street photography, but essentially this is what you want. Generally speaking, a deeper depth of field means you're more likely to get everything in focus. Now this is the first time I've used this camera, to be fair. I've literally just grabbed it. I've had it a day or so, and I've been wanting to get out to do this. So as I say, considering this camera is 16 megapixels, it is, I think it came out in 2014 or something like that. So technically it's around about 7-year-old technology. It will be interesting to see what you can get out of it, but it should be pretty good. Anyway, we need to hit the boat. So let's keep walking and I'll see when we'll get there. Another good thing about Micro Four Thirds is the reach. You can probably barely make out that person. Let's see what we can do with the camera. When it's that long, we've got some nice leading lines with the footprints. The person who's fishing. I think they're fishing. And we'll get another. Zoom right back out to 14mm, and we'll get a nice wide shot of the beach. Not as wide as the GoPro though, unfortunately. Right, onto the boat. Oh, we made it. I don't know if we're going to see any people on there, but with 85mm of reach, we might just get there. You never know. So let's get as close as we can. Open up the lens to a full 45mm. Oh, we're going to get a nice shot. We could also get a lovely shot of this. You can't really see much on the camera. Because the white balance is having a bit of a problem. But I'm going to use this to stand on. It's going to give me a little bit of a height advantage. So you can see that. In fact, we only need 35mm of reach. In fact, 25mm is going to be enough. A bit more. And I should have you in. I'm going to zoom out to 35, so I'm going to get a bit more in. I've got a bit of the pier in, so you can see that. I've got the lovely sky there. So there we go. And that was a handy platform to have. That was a handy platform to have. Also with Micro Four Thirds, the lenses are tiny. So you can actually go straight through these gaps and take a shot that way as well. Now what I would like to do is try and focus on, what I'm going to do is try one of the autofocus modes. I'm going to go to pinpoint and focus on that, you see, and I want the ship to be like that, a blur through the railings. And there we go. So you got pinpoint autofocus, which on a contrast camera is really handy. So there you go, folks, just a little short one on this camera. As I say, it's quite an advanced little camera. You've got the pinpoint, you've got the area, and even tracking autofocus and zone autofocus as well. It's 16 megapixels. Let's see how the images turn out when we actually put the video together. But yeah, I think you really can. And I would reserve judgment until we're back in the house and I've gone through the images, but there's no reason why you can't use a camera like this if you want to get started and you don't have a huge amount of money. You'll pick one of these up with a lens for around about £100, maybe a little bit more. There are cheaper cameras and there are more expensive cameras. Anyway folks, if you enjoyed the video, please remember to like, do subscribe to the channel. It all helps the algorithm for YouTube in pushing the videos so more people get to see them, and do click the bell for notifications so you're alerted to when I put a new video up. I do try and put about one video a week up, occasionally an extra one. So again, thank you for watching. I'll see you all soon. Bye.